Welcome to Karana CPQ. Let's take a look at the logic engine. The logic engine is effectively made up of two subsets of functions. The first is formula and the second is rule. A formula is used to make changes to items within the CPQ automatically. So in this case, I have a rule. This rule is called new formula. I can give this a more intelligent name. At shipping, for example. And this is currently going to manipulate the unit price, but I can also do line total, field value, field visibility, a validation rule that will prevent save, for example, and I can do approval hint. So in this case, if I do the validation, this will apply to all SKUs. I can also selectively apply this. I can then use the logic on the side here in order to generate specific rules that I need. We have some examples here. So if I do margin floor of 5%, this will say that the margin floor needs to be 5%. This will update, this will evaluate the unit price. It applies to all SKUs. And then what it is doing here is if that price is, if the unit price is less than 5% above the base product price, then generate an error. Go ahead and test this. It'll evaluate, and it's going to show me the results of what this would produce. This seems like a very complicated system, primarily because of how powerful it is. We are working on getting a more eloquent way of structuring the execution and the formulas so that this is more user-friendly, but the underlying base will remain the same just because of the powerful nature of this particular engine. Going back to automations, the second item that we have are rules. Rules do not alter the value of any particular item or prevent the editing of any particular item. These are more globally applied at the quote level, and what they're doing is really providing feedback to your team. So I can do complex logic, right? So I can do ands or ors so that I can string rules together in order to get what I need. In this case, what this is saying is if the subtotal for the cart is greater than 0, then perform an action. In this case, the action is show a warning, and it would show a warning when the cart total is greater than 0. This would make more sense as less than. So if the cart total is less than or equal to 0, then show cart must have a value, for example, validate, and this would go through and show me what would occur. In this case, it would just generate a warning. The warning is a pop-up or pop-over on the editor interface that your sales team is using. But I could also move this to be block save, in which case it wouldn't block the save of an individual line item. We do that differently. We do that with the formula side. But the rule can block the save of the entire quote if you violate that rule. This might be valuable for doing something like if it contains a discontinued SKU, which I would prefer that you deactivate the SKU, but that is an example of how you could use this. The actions that we have available is show warning, block save, require approval. These are approval rules. So if you exceed a cart value, if you exceed a discount value, if you exceed or under certain values, we can force this into an approval cycle on the HubSpot side based on rules that you can configure. And then finally, we have apply discount. So if you want to build some global discounts, for example, for a specific period of time, you want to apply a global discount, you would enable this rule, specify the conditions on which that would apply, and you would apply like a global 10% discount across the entire system. And then when that period elapses where you want this to take place, you would simply turn off this rule and it would stop running. Completely auditable because it goes into our price resolution logging and changes to the rules and the formulas are logged in the audit log, so you can see who did what and when.